Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King, bringing you news from beyond the mirror, from the other world. And today we are reviewing the newest hero that Vainglory has recently released, Reza. Now, I've been getting a lot of confusion from this hero recently, mainly because the devs have not really released a spotlight. But I'm going to try to clear things up with you guys. First of all, we're going to start talking about his passive, Firestarter. The first thing you want to know about Firestarter is it's not at all like Scarf's fire abilities. It doesn't cause burn or anything like that. But instead, his first active ability, Scorcher, and his Nether form ult apply Firestarter to his enemies. And what Firestarter does is the next basic attack will deal bonus crystal damage to the enemy. So right away from this hero perk you can tell that he's more of an assassin and not much of a mage. Now, what do I mean by that? You have to be really aggressive with this hero in particular. Now let me give you an example of what I mean by showing you what his first ability looks like and does. His first active ability, Scorcher, deals 70 plus 70% of crystal damage. This applies Firestarter to the enemy. The shockwave will go through minions, but it will stop if it hits a jungle monster or hero. Scorcher is his least aggressive ability, but it's the key to his other abilities, so be sure to use this before you think about using any of his other abilities. Now here's why. Since Scorcher applies Firestarter, and his next two active abilities get him really close to the enemy, so it's a good idea to combo Scorcher with his other two active abilities. One of these abilities is called Troublemaker. This is his second active ability. When using this ability, Reza will dash toward the targeted location, dealing damage to the enemies he passes through. And Reza's next basic attack will deal a bonus 25 plus 80% crystal power, crystal damage to the targeted enemy. This ability has two charges, but keep in mind, this ability will not consume Firestarter. Firestarter will still be applied to the enemy if this ability is used on them. However, your next basic attack bonus from using Troublemaker will activate Firestarter, because it's still considered a basic attack. So you will be getting the bonus damage from Troublemaker, and you will be getting the bonus damage from Firestarter, if it is applied to your enemy. So a good combo would be to use Scorcher to apply Firestarter, and then quickly use Troublemaker. This will deal massive damage, and very quickly. But make sure you time it perfectly, so your enemy doesn't know what you're doing and try to run away. But alright, let's go to one of my favorite abilities in the game, Nether Form Detonator. Reza vanishes, then reappears in the targeted location, empowered in his demon form. Upon reappearing, he unleashes a blazing explosion that damages nearby enemies, and consumes Firestarter within the target radius. And Reza will apply Firestarter to enemies who don't have it on them. And additionally, in this state, Reza's basic attacks will apply Firestarter to enemies. Now let's talk about items. Getting his power from Crystal, it's very, very important to build Shattered Glass. But I recommend 2 this time. Why do I recommend 2 Shattered Glass? Well, first of all, Reza can deal massive damage. Massive. If you build 2 Shattered Glass along with a Broken Myth right after it, you will deal tons of damage. Not only would I recommend these 3 items, but I would also recommend the Eye of Harvest. The Eye of Harvest will give him lifesteal in his abilities, and that is a fantastic idea. Reza works a lot like an assassin, so it's a good idea to build Eye of Harvest because the lifesteal will definitely keep him alive in team fights. But alright, let's get into gameplay. One thing I really like about Reza is his ability to really change the tide of battle. Even when it seems like he's about to lose, he still ends up winning. He deals such high burst damage, even more so than Taka. It makes him very, very deadly, even up close. And if the situation is too sticky, he has no trouble getting out of it. So at no means should you underestimate him. But although his abilities are very aggressive, do not overestimate him. do not. If you jump in at the wrong time, you could risk your teammate's life and you could risk your life. So it's never a good idea to overestimate Reza and then jump into front lines expecting to get a kill, because 9 times out of 10 you're probably not. Reza is very powerful, but you must use him wisely. But keep in mind that people will underestimate Reza, especially in close combat. Because he has such low health, people will underestimate him the same way they underestimate Taka in close combat. Just because he has low health does not mean he'll lose the fight. In conclusion, Reza is an amazing hero. He really is. But he works less like a mage and more like an assassin. He deals heavy burst damage, and since he has so many dash abilities and engaging abilities that remind me a little bit of Taka's, he works a lot like an assassin. So using him aggressively is a good idea, but try not to overuse him and get yourself killed. A good example would be, I made a reference to Taka when I was talking about him. When you use your X-Retsu, it's good to just go away and then charge your X-Retsu again. And charge your Kaiten to combo both of them. And then repeat. It's the same way with Reza. Your abilities are your main source of damage. The same goes for Taka. He deals great burst damage, and so does Reza. You want to make sure you use your abilities at the right time and at the right place. And you want to make sure you charge them up again to make a combo. Comboing Reza's abilities is what's going to get you that kill. Sure, the bonus damage on Reza's basic attack. Once Firestar has been applied to the target, it does a lot of bonus crystal damage. But your abilities, my fellow gamers, chain Reza's abilities. That is the key to using his character. Chaining his abilities. His abilities work with each other. That is how you're going to win with Reza. That's how you're going to master him. Is once you figure out how to combo each of his abilities, how they work with each other, that is how you're going to master him, my fellow gamers. But my overall opinion on Reza. Is he a good starter hero? Yes and no. Mainly because he's a mage. I've mentioned this before. Mages are probably not the first hero I would recommend using. I would probably recommend using a fighter or maybe a tank at first, because they're good with fighting. They're good with engaging. Mages are a little more complicated. That's why I probably wouldn't recommend mages for starters. But Reza, he is a very easy hero. He's easy to figure out, he's easy to use, and he's really fun to use too. So, I recommend getting him. Definitely, if you want to get a first mage, Reza is the mage you're going to want to get, because he's so strong. He's just so strong. He's not OP though. He's really strong, but not OP. A good example of that would be, say there's a team fight, and you're Reza, but you're not in the team fight just yet, and say you use your ult in the middle of the enemy team, that will deal a ton of damage to them. That will deal a lot of damage. But if they direct their attention to you, they're going to kill you right away, demon form or not. So, Reza is very powerful, incredibly powerful. He deals a lot of damage, and he can change the tide of battle. But if you do not use him wisely, you're just going to do a lot of damage and not kill anybody and get yourself killed. But he does take a little getting used to, but after a little while of practice, you'll be fantastic with him in no time. But yeah, that is my opinion on new hero. Definitely worth a buy. He's really cool. I love this hero, really. He's probably my new favorite. I really do like this guy. He's a lot of fun to use. I really like his design, too. I like the fact that he can transform into a monster and all that kind of stuff. He's just all around cool. The devs always come out with new heroes that really, really get my eye. This guy is really cool. Definitely another one of my favorites. But anyways, that's all the time I have left for this video, my fellow gamers. Remember to leave a like, comment, and please do subscribe. I love making Vainglory reviews for all the new heroes, and I love playing RPG games on this channel, so expect a lot of them here. But anyways, that's all the time I got. Take it easy for me, alright? Bye.
Dance with me.